I want to talk about guns today. First, I'd like to express my condolences to the victims in the shooting in Florida. This video is not for you, um, but we are going to have Frank talk about guns. Um, I'm going to start with the liberal propaganda and how it needs to stop. Now, the conservative media thrives on sensationalism. Um, we got, for instance, Fox News. Um, but I don't blame Fox News for that. I blame all the people that watch it that make money, and that money in turn encourages a kind of press where it's propaganda and it's not fact based. But don't be part of that propaganda either. You've heard the argument that abortionists are child murderers, and you know that that's not true. Abortionists are not child murderers, and gun supporters aren't child murderers. So don't become the propagandists. Don't become that kind of a person. You're not going to convince anyone with those kind of arguments. And stop just venting. Temper your venting with wisdom and intelligence and logic. And, I've seen a lot of craziness going on the left, becoming a lot like what turned a lot of people off from the, hard right conservatives. Don't become your enemy by saying things like that. Now, for the conservatives, I'm going to make some assumptions. I'm going to assume that you believe in what the Constitution says, and this is what it says. I'm going to quote for it. A well-regulated, this is the Second Amendment, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So it doesn't say anything in there about the recreational use of guns. So we need to cut that out because that can easily be shot down, pun intended. If the only reason you have a gun is to go hunting, which is just another form of recreation, then it's gonna your argument's gonna fall apart because your recreation is not greater than the lives of other people, of children. Um, you're gonna lose your argument if you say it's for home security or personal security, and I'll tell you why. Because the truth is using guns for home security and personal security is not the best way to secure your home. Um, and it's going to change the kind of guns that you're allowed to have. Shotguns are probably a lot better for home security than, and you know, AR-15. And in close quarters, you risk, the bullets penetrating and hitting innocents. Um, there's a lot of FBI statistics that show if you're within 9 feet or less distance of a person, a gun is a less effective weapon. Now, that's why that argument eventually is going to fall apart. The Second Amendment is only about securing is only about security against corrupt government. If someone says this is outdated in today's world, you might hear that from the left that our governance, we're not going to have to uprise against our government. It's not going to get to that point. Well, remind them that Trump is president. I guarantee you that they might be a little, hesitant to use that argument afterwards. But that's the only reason the Second Amendment exists. Now, let's skip to the phrase of well-regulated. Regulated demands regulation and training. And in this we've failed. We have very little training in terms of guns, in terms of what is required before you're able to purchase or use a gun. Little licensing is required, almost none. And there should be an increase in available firearms. I actually lobby for an increase in I think we should have automatic weapons. I think that if you're trained and regulated, that is necessary in order to defend yourself against a possible tyrannical government, whether foreign or domestic. So then the question comes up: is it worth it? Is all the deaths worth it? The school shootings, what if it was your child? Would you still think it was worth it? Um, we cannot expect people that are emotionally involved in situations to make proper decisions, logical decisions. I mean, that's a no-brainer. If you're angry, if you're extremely, you know, sad, if you've lost a loved one, then you're probably not in a state of mind in which you can make a logical decision against something. Um, so not being emotionally involved directly, I don't know any of the people that were involved in any of the school shootings. My solid answer to the question, is it worth it? Is yes. It is definitely worth it. So on that on that note, I want you to have a very good week. Bye.